Are you feeling mixed up into all of the colors of the painting? Are you feeling distracted, lost, or confused, and feel like you can't feel the sense of your true self, of true awareness? If that is the case, today I'm going to share with you a very powerful technique that I have used recently, and I do use, if I'm ever feeling distracted, or if I'm ever feeling that I'm clinging on to something of an illusion. I want to first start this video by saying, when I use the word technique, this does not make you aware. This does not wake you up. This isn't needed to be aware. This isn't needed to wake you up. You are already there. So when I use this word technique, sometimes, especially for myself, and this video is very important because this has been the most powerful technique that has helped me see my true self when I am consumed and lost within the material world. So this technique helps you make a shift. It helps you feel. It helps you see the separation of the illusion, of the imaginary, of the clinging on to and the conditioning, and shifts you into the feeling of your true self, pure consciousness, pure awareness, pure existence. It isn't needed to become that, but when everything seems to be outward, you seem to be struggling a fear or anxiety, this can help you shift back to your true state, to feel it fully, embody it. This is basically detachment. And before I share the technique, I want to give a little backstory and understanding of what happens, why it happens, and how most of the time we don't even notice it. And then I will jump into the technique. So I'm going to be speaking in this video directly from my direct experience and personal experience. Recently, this technique has become very powerful and profound, and has really opened my eyes to what was going on. Now, when I give you a little bit of insight into this, I want to state that most of the time we do not see this actually going on. We are so hypnotized and unconscious and asleep to the material world, lost inside of it, and performing in the play in our character's role, that we do not even know that this is occurring. From my personal experience, my direct experience, what I noticed was occurring was a fear, an anxiety, a tension. It was very reactive, very spontaneous. It would arise out of nowhere. Maybe it was an interaction. Maybe it was something else. The main point is this was very, very, very spontaneous. It was very intense. I could feel it. And then when you feel it, there's a natural inclination to hang on to it, to identify with it, and to grab it. But something I noticed with doing this technique is this was happening in more places than I could have even imagined or known. I have used this technique throughout the day, and it has really shown me the spontaneous nature and the random nature, same thing, of thoughts. And it has shown me the idea, it has shown me the way that we and myself cling on to these thoughts. grab onto these thoughts, identify with these thoughts, think that they are ours, and think that they are us. So the whole premise of this technique notices this arising of whatever it may be. It could be the simplest thing to the most intense and uncomfortable thing. It shows us the arising of it. It shows us the noticing of it. And then it also points out and lets you feel the shift into when it is not grabbed onto, when it is not held onto and identified with. In other words, detachment. Let go. Recently, I felt some fear and anxiety coming back. And what I did was, anytime that this fear and anxiety would arise spontaneously, I would simply basically ignore it. I would literally ignore it, turn away from it, and turn into being. I did not make this a mind thing. I did not make this a force thing. When it would arise, I would turn away from it, my attention, and I would turn my attention to purely existence in being itself. This is where it started to be revealed to me. Now, this is not easy for all of us. And I remember using this technique a while back, and I felt as if it was a thought thing or a mind thing. So I felt as if I needed more thoughts to turn away from other thoughts. We need to understand that we cannot stop thoughts, the spontaneous nature. We have had so much programming and conditioning from a young age into wherever we are now, that a lot of this spontaneous thought nature, this fear and anxiety, this judgment, this narrative, the spontaneous nature of it comes from wearing our VR headset, otherwise known as the programming that we have identified with and believed from a very young age. I'll dive into that in another video. But this technique, when we notice this arising, when we feel this arising, because I felt it more than anything. I felt the nature of this arise. I felt the nature of this take over the body, cause tension, cause a reactive response. It caused a grabbing onto and an identification with, and then it became me, it became my thought, and it became my pain and my tension. I hope you're still paying attention here, because it's going to get very good. I just wanted to kind of explain what this is, why it happens, and how that shift occurs. So for me recently, when this anxiety and fear would arise, it arises. You feel it, you notice it, you hear it. Well, however you want to say that. It feels like your voice in your head. Let this arising be noticed. You will feel it there, you'll see it there, you'll hear it there. Let it be noticed. You do not stop it. You do not use other thoughts to chase it away, force it away. It is noticed. Bring your attention back to being. Simple as that. Purely bring your attention back to being. The thing you've done your whole life is purely existing, purely being alive. So you do not have to be alive to try to be alive. You do not have to try to exist. Bring your attention back to it. And in the beginning, these thoughts, this arising, this fear, anxiety, the narrative, the judgment, the story, it will be strong, it will be aggressive, it will seem real. You will be okay. You will be okay. And your attention may go right back to it. Bring your attention back to being, existing. The only thing that's actually truly happening is existing, aliveness. So it's an arising, a noticing. And this can happen anywhere. I do delivery for a job currently, and I noticed it on the job. So driving, I noticed it out and about. I noticed it walking up to people's homes. And I'm going to be honest and real with you guys and share some of the stuff that I was experiencing. I would hear a judgment story, judgment story, as I was walking up to other people's homes. A judgment story as I was driving, somebody riding my butt, tailgating me, and making me feel fearful. Okay? All of this was arising. All of it was noticed. All I did was bring attention back to existing, bring attention back to being. Rupert Spira says something. I'm not going to quote it exactly or get it right, but this is where I have heard it, and it is true. It may seem like this is a required or a technique that requires work or something to do. And it only seems that way because all of our attention and focus has been on the stories, the arising, the spontaneous nature of thoughts we've been clinging on to, and we have been attaching to that for our whole life. So it feels like this is actually the work required, but actually the work required has been putting our attention and identifying with that. But it has become so natural, it has become second nature, it has become what we actually truly believe is us, the programs, that it seems like work when we turn away from them. If that seems like work when we turn away from them, we come back to being, existing, aliveness, do the work. It isn't work, but do the work. I heard that from Rupert Spira, and it is very true, because sooner or later what happens, I promise you, is you start to see the separation between the existing, the aliveness, what you are, awareness, and all of the spontaneous thoughts, judgments, and narratives. You do see the separation, the duality. You see the judgments, the stories, the fear, the anxiety. You see it arise. You see how easily once before you thought it was you. But because you have tasted that existence, pure existence, you have tasted that aliveness, you have tasted the pure being, your essence, you now see how that it could never be you truly. It is you as in the arisal, and that everything is consciousness. But what we do is we identify with that. We now have contracted our state, and we are an altered state of consciousness, believing that that is us. All of that arisal. But since we have stepped back, since we have rested and tasted our being again, we now see, feel, most importantly, we feel what we truly are. And that's just a powerful technique. And truly, guys, it is what has really shifted me to feel to the core, to the essential essence of what I am and what we all are. It has shifted me to that reminder, to that place. So I really recommend this technique. I hope I explained it well for you guys. Thank you for watching another video. And thank you for being here to all the new subscribers and current subscribers. Leave your thoughts down below. Tell me if this is something you find beneficial. Tell me what other videos you'd like to see from me. And stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.